A white UN Land Rover and a battered Bedford truck slowly wound their way along a narrow dirt road in the western highlands of Sierra Leone. The vehicles pushed on through the overgrown vines and saplings, the African jungle's attempt to reclaim the track. The earthy smell of rotting leaves filled the air, and sprawling trees blocked the sunlight, spawning growths of moss and fungi. An Australian officer, Lieutenant Aidan Bishop, rode in the front of the Land Rover next to the driver, a young Sierra Leone soldier. Behind him, Colonel Kapoor reclined in the back seat. Although the Indian UN officer was technically in command, he was content to let Bishop take charge. Their mission was to inspect the Killamee refugee camp, a routine undertaking that the colonel would not normally participate in. He had only volunteered for the short-notice tasking to impress the UN military commander. Usually, he preferred to remain in Sierra Leone's capital, Freetown, relaxing in the air conditioning of the UN headquarters. Trailing the four-wheel drive, the Bedford truck transported 10 Indian UN soldiers perched on its hard wooden benches. Well armed and enthusiastic, the peacekeepers had excellent discipline, which made up for their limited training. Clad in their heavy khaki uniforms and light blue berets, they silently endured the stifling heat of the canvas-topped truck, the ancient suspension amplifying every bump. The diesel engines of the convoy bellowed as the drivers pushed them hard, climbing the slippery track toward Killamee. Native birds were startled from the trees, and larger animals crashed through the heavy undergrowth to escape the noisy intruders. Every few miles, the two vehicles passed small villages, unmarked on the map. Bishop squinted as the morning sun streamed through the gaps in the thick jungle canopy, raising the humidity to oppressive levels. He removed his UN beret to wipe his brow and checked the map. The young Australian officer struggled to navigate in the dense jungle. The huge trees that punched up through the shadowy undergrowth filled the sky with a wall of greenery, blocking out the view and making it impossible to identify any useful landmarks. As they drove past yet another isolated village, Bishop's driver pointed out a cluster of ramshackle huts. "Sir, my grandfather was born there." Chickens scratched in the mud around one of the rusted corrugated iron walls. Looking across at the lieutenant, the driver smiled. "I know this area well, sir. I won't get you lost."